dancing and nursing a part. We know every part by heart. Oh, mature curtain lights. This is it. We'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show. This is it.
Ho ho, on with the
Hello.
show. Hello, hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, hello. Hey,
Hello.
you, over there, out of the gene pool. All right, thank you. Hey,
What?
how are you? We're a little late tonight.
A little bit. Johnny Cash was here.
I know, that's a good reason to be late because it was pretty great.
It was good. It was like he was really here. Like the
Johnny
spirit of
Cash.
Johnny Cash. Or like I was saying in the hallway,
Yeah.
it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, it sounded like Joaquin
Sounded
Phoenix.
like
Johnny
Joaquin
Cash.
Phoenix. I was like, is that Joaquin Phoenix?
I agree.
And that's a compliment because he did a
No,
very
I did a very great job.
good
I
Johnny
tell you
Cash.
what,
So.
Folsom 68 is the Johnny Cash tribute band, and they sounded very awesome.
Is that their name?
Yeah, Folsom 68.
I'm gonna do my June Carter clap.
Because
She
you're
claps
mine.
like this in the movie. She goes like,
I walk the line. Yeah.
"Oh, we're going to Jackson." She always clapped like this. Remember in the movie?
I do
She always
remember.
did that. I was like, why is she clapping like that? That's
Because
so
she
weird.
could. You know what I
Like,
mean?
can't
Who
you just
knows?
clap like this? But she's like this,
Apparently not.
backwards. Well, actually, I don't know. It was June. It was actually Reese Witherspoon
Doing
being
June
Carter.
yes.
I don't know if June Carter actually clapped like that, but Reese Witherspoon
Well, here.
clap like that.
Watch, again, if you can find it somehow,
could
watch
find it.
the Ken Burns country music series.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
The one section of it, there was over several weeks, and the one section of it was pretty heavy. Johnny Cash and that era. That guy, let me tell you
Era.
what, he had his trials, he had his problems, he had his
He
issues.
did like those black pills.
and you know he plowed through it. I mean, he efforted through it, and till it was all said and done, he was back on top again.
To Jackson.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Jackson, here we
So what else? How's your
I'm
week?
going to Jackson. You better comb your hair. I don't care.
You all right?
That's just-
Interesting to note that your Monmouth Rage 8-man football team plays in Jackson, New Jersey. It's true.
Yes, that's where Great Adventure is too.
In Jackson, New Jersey.
I think it's funny that in New Jersey they call it Great Adventure. They don't call it Six Flags.
Because
which is
that's what
so
it was
weird.
called. That's what it was called originally.
That's what it was called before it was Six Flags?
Yep, before Six Flags owned it. It was Great Adventure. Period.
Oh, I didn't know
Period.
that.
Yep.
I was like, why does everyone call
Nope.
it Great Adventure? It's so weird.
It was not always owned by the Six Flags company. It was
Oh.
put together, I'm going to say, in about 1974 or 5,
That is interesting.
thus putting the former jungle habitat out of business, just like that.
Oh.
Jungle Habitat in northwest New Jersey and Milford, New Jersey, was a big attraction in the very early 70s for a few years. And it was the drive-through safari. And it did nothing like that around the region, let alone the locality. Nothing in the region like that existed. So you figure up the top of New Jersey, you had all the New York, New Jersey, Western Connecticut, lower upstate New York, and Pennsylvania people coming to that as an attraction. Matter of fact, my neighbors went and brought me a T-shirt. We never got to go because till we were going to go, it had closed.
All he got you was a lousy T-shirt?
I was a great T-shirt. It had this really, really cool lion on it, man.
Wasn't it as nice as the T-shirt I gave you?
No,
Exactly.
not even close.
Yeah. Boats and hose.
Gotta have me my boats and hose.
Boats and hose.
Word. So yeah, so then all of a sudden, Great Adventure opens up circa 1974/75 with the amusement park and the drive-through safari right there together like it still is today. And Jungle Habitat, they didn't have no amusement park up there. They did not. So away they went, probably by 76 or 77 or 78. Maybe they were gonzo Friday, man. They were Audi 5000. They were gone. And that's the legend of Jungle Habitat and the story of why we call it, us Jerseyans, why we call it Great Adventure, because at the beginning, for however many years,
It was Great
It was
Adventure.
Great Adventure. That's it. It was the Great Adventure amusement park. And
See, I didn't know that. I'm
drive-through
so glad I
safari.
brought it up because I had no idea. I just thought you guys were being like
Nope.
arrogant
Nope.
or facetious
There
or
was a reason.
something. I just didn't get it. I'm like, why do you guys keep saying Great Adventure? It's
Because
Six
that's what it
Flags.
is. These freaking Six Flags people,
didn't
storm trooped in.
know
Yes, sir.
I didn't know.
They stormtrooped in, and they said, "Oh, we're going to buy that and make it a corporate thing." Along with Six Flags over Texas, over Georgia, over New England, over Joe Bobsville, over Detroit, over wherever the hell they've got parks. Don't care. This one's good. It's great. Adventure.
Great.
Right.
Awesome.
And then some. So what else?
Well, I
How's your
wanted
week?
to. What?
How was
My
your
week
week?
sucked.
What?
Because it was like the worst news.
Well, yeah.
Like the worst. Like the worst. To hear that on
Sunday.
on a Sunday is like, it's terrible. It's devastating. It really is. And this is the thing. And obviously we're talking about Kobe Bryant. But the thing that's like so upsetting to me is, besides the fact that we lost a great athlete and he was very young, but all those kids and that whole family that were in there, all those other people, it's just horrible.
Just
children.
It was clearly they were on their way to a travel basketball, and he did this constantly. I mean,
Correct.
he had this, and this is an okay reason, really. He was always on the move in and around the greater Los Angeles, and knowing how the traffic is just horrible, basically anymore 7 days a week. Rather than taking 2 hours to go 15 miles, he had a chopper, and he'd get there in 10 minutes. Boom, done. And all of a sudden, for these weather conditions, and now they're saying this and that about the weather, and they should or shouldn't have, or they did or didn't, or whatever. With the weather conditions, they had him circling till they could land there. I guess we got to wait till it clears up. Well, who the heck
the
knows?
weather conditions were horrible, and not for nothing, but the police force, like they had grounded all of their aircraft.
Yes, they did.
And it says here too in the log that he had actually requested to climb higher to avoid the cloud layer.
Right.
And that was his last transmission.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
not
ridiculous.
like the pilot was a dink. He'd been doing this for 20-some years.
Yeah, he had been.
You know what I mean? It's just
literally. He shouldn't have gone up.
Literally
and
or figuratively, the perfect storm, and that's the damn shame. Now you have 9 people who you got a whole family wiped out, a mother, father, and daughter.
No, I'm gonna actually say all their names because I think the name should be mentioned.
I
because
agree.
A lot of people are saying Kobe Bryant and they'll say Gianna Bryant and then they say the others and the others.
No.
And I think it's important to say all of their names today.
I agree.
And then I'm going to go off on a rant about it, and I'm going to tell you why later.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
It's what you do.
who we lost? So Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, Alyssa Altobelli, Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester,
Oh, my.
Christina Hauser, and the pilot was Ara Zobian, was the pilot. So, there were daughters and fathers and mothers on that helicopter. And it's heartbreaking. I was sad. And, it's like...
Well, join the club. I mean, it's a big club. There's a lot of people say it. Even your casual sports, not even basketball fan, if you weren't affected.
He played for the same team for 20 years. He was an icon. And, it's the same thing when I saw when JFK Jr.'s plane went down. I felt the same feelings, the emotion. And it's very sad. And it's okay to grieve for him. And the reason I say that is because I got into some Facebook fights with people. Particularly a person.
You doing that again?
Listen, I try not to, but the sheer stupidity.
And you used to always admonish me, stop it.
That's true. But the sheer stupidity of people sometimes, or ignorance, I'll say.
They are just
but
cement heads.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
It's just driving me crazy. We do not know Kobe Bryant. I don't. Did you know him? No.
Never met him.
And I get it. I get why there's grief, because there's so many things that factor into it. Besides the fact that it's a tragic, sudden, unexpected death of a personality and the common thread that everybody feels, the United States, Canada, Europe, everybody, and he was born in Italy. I don't know if you know that.
I had forgotten about that.
And he's fluent in Italian. They had actually a big thing for him in Italy to celebrate his life.
Of course.
He was a worldly guy, very intelligent man, very athletic, broke records. Actually, LeBron had broken his record the day before.
And he was there, which is nice.
He was there, yeah. It's just with his daughter.
Yeah.
And who passed away as well. But the thing about it is that I kept seeing people say, why are people reacting like this? They didn't know him. Or their only reason they're reacting like this is because he's rich or because he was famous. But the infamous, I wish I could, I don't know if I can mess up by going on my Facebook page to see what someone wrote that made me so angry. I'm still reeling from it. But she wrote, I'm not quoting, so something along the lines
Paraphrase.
Something along the lines of I wish people would mourn the American soldiers that like they do Kobe Bryant. And I lost my chait. I lost it. I'll tell you why.
Who's saying we don't?
Who's saying we don't? Who's saying anybody isn't? The thing about it is, when soldiers pass away, I don't know them by name. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I can say as a group, it makes me sad that soldiers pass away. That makes me very sad. It makes me just as sad as it does for Kobe Bryant. Their sadness isn't different. But I know who Kobe Bryant is, and John knows who Kobe Bryant is. People know when celebrities pass away, the common thread is that everybody knows who they are. That's why people talk about it. That's why it's all over social media. I'm sick of seeing this on social media. I wish they treat people the same way like they do celebrities. No, they're not gonna, asshole.
Here's the other thing that weighs into that, and please try to follow my thought here, okay? A soldier, someone who was in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and whatever else, including coming up the space division. Okay, the thing that they do that these people, celebrity
Space
or not,
Force.
I'm sorry,
Space Force.
Thank you. The thing that a Marine or a soldier or a sailor or an airman or a Coast Guard member or a Space Force member does willingly, that none of these people on Sunday did, and whatever have any reason to have done, is the people in the military, they write a blank check up to and including their lives. Okay? They put that on the line the moment they get themselves involved in military service, knowing full well that this is something their minimal, maximum injury or demise may be the result at any given moment for any given reason. And they write that check willingly, and thank God that they do. Okay? Up to and including, if I'm a soldier, my life.
Right.
Okay? That doesn't diminish the fact, however, that when I see something on the news, on the web, in a newspaper, hear it on the radio, or what, about some of our military personnel passing away and or dying, being killed because of whatever. And we talked about this too in a different context, but the older I get, the more my perspective has changed. I see the same things I saw 30 years ago at 25, and I understand them the same way I saw them or understood them when I was 25. But the way it affects me at 55 is a lot different.
Sure.
I see these things all the time. I don't care if it's Lester Holt, David Muir, or Norah O'Donnell, or whomever on Fox, on PMSNBC, on the Clinton News Network, any of them. I don't care. When I see something like this with our soldiers, it upsets me.
Sure.
It saddens me. It upsets me. And there are times, literally, I'm sitting there watching the news with my 90-year-old father. I have to get up and get out of the room, feigning like I'm going to get something to drink or something to eat because I got tears. I can't even see the screen. I got tears in my eyes. because of these soldiers. So for someone to be so absolutely, arrogantly, over officiously inappropriate like that, to just blithely assume that the blanket statement is X, that, well, we don't care. We should care more about these people than those people.
Yeah. I hate that.
What the hell's the difference?
Dude, I was like,
I mean,
I was
again,
reeling.
It all stinks when they go. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It all stinks when somebody passes. I don't care if it's a president, a political icon. You know, I was no fan of Ted Kennedy's politics. Was not. Okay? But you know what? He was part of a whole iconic entity that once he had passed away those few years ago, any hint of Camelot that was gone. And it was upsetting.
And that's how I felt
you know what I mean?
When JFK Jr. died.
Of course. Oh,
I felt that. I was like, well,
so many of us felt that
what is going on?
way.
And young, future.
Can't be true.
It just
can't be true.
Can't be true.
Can't be true. You know, the first thing, because it was Sunday afternoon, here, Sunday morning out there, and I was out in Pennsylvania with my wife, with Jamie, and she was up working on some stuff up in her sewing room. P.S. Country House by Jamie Lee. And she came down after I'm seeing this. I'm like, did you hear Kobe Bryant died in a chopper crash? And the first thing she said is, are you sure? Is it real?
Yeah, is it a
because
hoax?
there's so much of this bevy of bullshit
right.
going on that people concoct these
Right.
stories just to attract attention to themselves. And all of a sudden it's, oh, that's not true. Sorry. No, sadly this one was true.
Yes.
So that's another thing that has happened in our society. We've
Yeah.
become a little jaded, a little leathered where that's concerned, to where, you know what, when something does happen, again, back in 1990, what was it, 9 when JFK, or 98 when JFK Jr. passed away?
99,
You're like, that can't be true. Meaning
It's hard to
I don't
believe.
want to believe it. Now it's, that can't be true, meaning somebody probably concocted it.
Yeah, a hoax. But it wasn't.
It all stinks. It all
does stink.
stinks.
But I just hate that state. I hate when people say that. It drives me crazy. It does. And then it's anything like if you show sympathy to something and then someone else doesn't agree with you sympathizing with it, it becomes a blanket statement. Like you say, I wish you people, who are you addressing? Because it's not me. And it aggravated me so bad.
I agree.
And she's an acquaintance of mine, and I'm actually going to see her this weekend, which is so funny because I'm afraid I might fight her, but I was so angry. I was like legit. I was really angry. But it was just, I wish people would, it's just, people always pay attention to the rich and famous. They don't pay attention to the everyday person. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about?
That's not necessarily the case. I mean, I'm sure that there have been plenty of times where such has been the case because, okay, let's face it, whether it's in the military or in society, there are times when rank has its privilege, right, wrong, or indifferent. But let me tell you what, I have seen and known of enough of, the regular guy affecting something to where you never thought they would.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, it doesn't, just because we're mourning for Kobe Bryant doesn't mean we're not mourning for everybody else.
Correct.
That doesn't mean it. And oh my God, I wish I had the exact, I have it in my Facebook, but I don't want to turn off my phone to look at it, but it was upsetting, and I just wanted to make a point to say that you can mourn him.
Of course,
you can mourn him. Go ahead. You can mourn a celebrity. You can mourn an athlete. You can mourn a politician. The common thread is that everybody knows who that person is. Okay,
that's the thing. I mean, and it's all. Here's the other thing too.
You have Facebook on your phone?
I got my page up, yeah.
Yeah, your own page.
Yeah.
Can you go to your friends with me so I can look at that?
Oh, hold please.
Please hold.
Hold please. Let's go to the thing. Go to the thing.
You're my friend.
Yay.
Because I want to get it right. What she said. I think it's really.
Let's. Come on. Where are you,
Just go to
Tracy
your own
Paris?
page and then just go to
TRACY. There she is, top of the pile. Look at you. You're top of the list. Of course you're
I'm
top of
important.
the list. Stop. There you are.
There I am.
Knock yourself out.
Let's see. Look at that.
It's all subjective too. It really. I was going to say it's all subjective. Okay, so somebody who's not a sports fan, this is not affecting them much, if at all. Okay, actors, and I don't know why, but Dean Martin comes to mind. Don't ask me why, but I mean, he died on Christmas Day back probably. Oh boy, a little over 20 years ago, was in the mid-late 90s, and I enjoyed Dean Martin. My wife, she really liked Dean Martin, and it was upsetting, John Denver when he had that plane crash out off the coast of California, and that happened, I think, if memory serves, on my birthday,
Right.
October 12th back in the 90s, late 90s, not because it was my birthday, but because, here's the thing, I enjoyed his music, all right? I maybe not all of it, but I enjoyed. There was a good bit of stuff I enjoyed, and I liked him in, for example, the Oh God movies. I thought he was good in those movies. No, I didn't know the man, but that doesn't matter. Here's the thing that upset me, whether it's John Denver, Dean Martin, or whomever. They were entertainers who people liked, and now all of a sudden there's not going to be any more entertainment from these people who people liked.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean? It's like you just shut the faucet off and you knock the thing off and it's broken permanently, because that's exactly what it is. Forever's a long time.
It is a long time. I don't think I can get to it because I have it blocked. So that's just me. Like, you can only see the friends that we have mutually.
Ew.
That's for everybody, not just you. But you could see what I said was just because people are being vocal about a celebrity death doesn't mean they've forgotten to think less, or they've forgotten or think less about any other person's passing.
Correct.
And that's came from me being angry at this woman for what she said. But I can't see it because it's supposed to black and if I can Tracy Bears. I can't find your friends. Let me see something here. Let me see if I look up.
Well, lots of other stuff going on,
yeah,
too.
there's other stuff going on.
Speaking of, as you're whacking away over there, here again, here's another one who entertained us, who now will no longer, I mean, he wasn't for a while anyway, but now absolutely will not any longer. I grew up in north central New Jersey, in East Brunswick, New Jersey, about a 35-mile straight line shot from New York City. So granted, of course, growing up, the radio stations I listened to came from New York City. And back in the 70s into the very early 80s, it was Music Radio 77, WABC, and 66, WNBC.
WNBC.
Well, you see, and they overdid it a little bit in the movie, but sometimes they didn't. But on WABC, mornings. And before that, when I was very small and before I was born, it was the WMCA Good Guys. But when I was a kid growing up, WMCA 570. And then 77 WABC, good morning, it's Harry Harrison, who we lost this week. He was an older gent. He was in his 80s, but boy, I tell you what, waking up with Harry Harrison, whether it's in the house, we had a little transistor radio that we had in the back of the flush tank of the radio. So while I'm brushing my teeth, I had WABC on. Out in the kitchen, you had the radio and the 77 WABC, and you had some music in the car, of course. Had to make a deal with Dad because Dad took me to school. It was about a half an hour ride. Do you want music in the morning or in the afternoon? Because going or coming, you get your radio, and then the other time I get mine. So in the morning we had music radio, and in the afternoon going home it was 10-10 wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world. So every morning it was back and forth, and now they're both gone between Imus in the Morning and Harry Harrison on
Harry
NBC.
Harrison.
Yeah, on NBC and ABC. And we've lost the voice of Harry Harrison.
I saw that.
Yeah. And he was a New York City radio icon for years, just an institution. I mean, if you heard his voice, and pull it up, folks. If any of you are at all into radio, go to YouTube and just pop in Harry Harrison. And you'll see what I mean. His voice is great. His voice is smooth. He was, again, one of those, we're talking about stuff like that today. Back during the old, AM music radio days, all you needed to be was is to enunciate, sound good, and have a deep set of pipes. Okay, and you were ready to go. You were ready to go. And if you had a little bit of wit about you from time to time, so much the better. And a lot of these guys did. I mean, it was Harry Harrison in the morning, Ron Lundy middays, the Dan Ingram show on the way home, afternoon drive, and then, Chuck Leonard, I think, did evenings on WABC. There's a few guys did evenings on ABC. Just again. It just stinks. It's just showing you that
stinky
time is
No, it's not on our side, honey.
No, it's not. And Father Time is undefeated. Father Time is undefeated.
This is true.
So whether you're bringing it kind of full circle-ish, whether you're remembering people who you listened to or saw on local TV or radio years ago, or whether you're, going to take that chopper ride from A to B, be sure you tell people who you care about that you care about them.
That you care about them and you love them.
There it is.
That's important.
It's true. Love you.
And I was saying to you in the lobby, and this is, when I was younger, I mean, I took so many risks,
right.
like parachuting and flying in open cockpit planes and flying in helicopters, and you do all these crazy hiking and all this crazy stuff that you used to do. And I loved to fly. I'd fly all the time, everywhere, back and forth, small planes, Cessnas, gliders. I mean, I was very much into flying. And now I won't even go on a friggin' roller coaster. I mean,
I'll still do that.
Okay,
now
I'm exaggerating.
I have to pick and choose. I won't go
not on all of them. Some of them are a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little cuckoo. But I would have gone on all of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I feel like, and I was saying this to John, is that as John, who you're sitting right next to me when I was saying it to you, was as you get older, you get closer to death. And I feel like the older I get, the less I want to do as far as risky things.
Right.
Like flying in helicopters or bungee jumping or jumping out of planes or going on particular rides that look a little unsafe to me. I want to be able to be in my 80s sitting on the porch with my goats with sweaters running around and my pitcher of lemonade and yelling at the kids to get off my lawn. That's what I want. That's what I want in my life. I don't want to die in a plane crash or a helicopter crash or, I don't want to fall off a cliff. I don't want these things. I don't want it.
Oh,
I don't want to go like that.
I don't either.
And God knows when it's my time, it's my time. But I feel like when you're young, you'll do all the crazy stuff. You'll jump out of planes and skydive and do all this crazy stuff. And
please, was out at Knoebel's Amusement Resort in Pennsylvania, near where I have the place. And I don't know if any of you know Knoebel's, but along with the amusement park they have there, they have this big giant. They call it the Crystal Pool, and it's very big. Matter of fact, my mother used to go there with my aunts and uncles and my grandfather, years ago when they were young. I mean, it's been around for that long, and they really keep it beautiful. They really do. And they took it down. It's no longer there. But at one point, they had a 3-tiered diving platform, to where there was like 10, 20, and 30 feet up. And I'm going to say I might have been about 12, 13 years old, and I got up top of that dude, and boom, off I went. And, okay, I can say I did it. Let me tell you what, I wouldn't even consider it now.
Right. Right.
No way.
Right?
No.
And I go to Great Adventure, and the things that I used to go on, or Six Flags to everybody else in America, the things I'd look at, and I'd say, I'm going on that. And then now I hesitate. And I go, do I really want to go on that?
Right.
Like, what's going to happen to me? But probably nothing. But that thought is in my head much more than it was, say, 10, 20, 30 years ago. Of course. It wasn't in my head like that. So now all I keep thinking about is like, well, I don't want to fly.
And it shows. Thank you.
I don't want to be.
You don't love to fly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll take a train, before I take a plane. And I love flying. Love flying. But my anxiety has built significantly over the years. And I think after 9/11 and all these things that I keep seeing, it's the anxiety level is very high. And I've flown since 9/11, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But it was always in my head, and it's I think it's still in my head. And just anything like that. Now after this crash, you just think, my God, you just don't know. And why am I going to take the chance just in case that my number's up? Like, just in case that's not the way I want to go. I just don't. I'll stay on the ground. Like, honestly, I would have looked at the fog and been like, I ain't going.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I mean, that's me. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, and you mentioned JFK Jr. I mean, now, back to that for a second. Here's a guy who was ostensibly still learning to fly
Correct.
a small airplane.
He didn't know how to read instruments.
That's exactly correct. So why would you go at night when that's how you do it?
And it was foggy.
Right. Here we go with the fog.
Mm-hmm.
I would have waited until the next day or have taken off earlier that afternoon. But you know what? We all think we're Superman.
It's
so
the
to
youth.
speak.
That's the youth.
Yeah.
Because if I'm telling you, if JFK was 50, he wouldn't have gone.
No,
I'm telling you.
no.
It's that young...
I got this. Don't worry about it.
Right. It's just like, it's amazing to me. Like, I just, not that I live in fear, because I don't live in fear, but I think I'm so much more cautious now.
Get out of my head. Err on the side of caution.
Yeah. I'm just a lot more cautious about everything.
When these knuckleheads try to bait me, up and down the turnpike every morning and every night, come on. You know what? I just slide to the right and say, okay, jerk off, go ahead.
Yeah.
I am not A, going to get a ticket,
I'm not
and
crashing.
B, I'm not having you scrape me up with a stick and a spoon at mile marker 65. Thank you, no.
No, I'm not crashing. I'm just not doing it. And it's not the way you want to go.
No.
It's just not. And that being said, too, I mean, I'm scared of, like, people. I'm scared of, like, murder. I'm scared of that. I was never scared of that before.
You should play the banjo.
What?
You should play the banjo. You'll never be scared. How can you have a song about, being scared about, oh, death and grief and sorrow and murder, ding, 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 ding. You never hear that.
No, not really.
It's an old Steve Martin bit. But he's right, banjos. Play the banjo. It's happy. You never hear about stuff like that when you play the banjo.
That's true.
But seriously,
What do you hear about when you play the banjo?
I don't know. Country things.
Country things, like we just heard.
Yes.
Fun Johnny Cash stuff.
They were good. Folsom 68 is the group's name. They're going all over the place here,
68.
but they were really quite good.
They're
going to be in, where do you say, Asbury Park this weekend. Check it out.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He said the name of the bar. I didn't know it. I didn't recognize
I'd
it.
heard of it, and I lost it. Maybe Gino or Ruben, you can pipe up. If not, shh.
Oh, my fingers smell like onions.
Well,
too many smells. It's giving me a sinus headache.
Here we go.
Get off my lawn. No, but seriously, that's I honestly I am scared of everybody. So I had this inspection. It was a state inspection. They come to your house and make sure that the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors work. And I was by myself in the house, and I'm thinking, how am I going to kill this guy if he tries to kill me? That's I swear to God, that's all I'm thinking.
Right.
Isn't that terrible? I never think that. I never thought, hey, you come in my house. Woo! No, I'm like this. I'm like, well, I hope he's like a good, normal guy, doesn't try to murder me. Like, I watch too much ID channel.
Well, see, there you go.
Dateline in 2020 and 48 hours and Live PD and all that stuff I watch every night. My friends are like, don't you get nightmares? I go, no, I get realistic. I don't get nightmares. I get realistic. I basically realize, hey, somebody's going to kill me. So I got to be cautious. Because everybody and it's not a joke, because in a way, I mean, I'm making light of it, but I mean, the honest to goodness truth is whenever I see these things on TV and these people get killed and for senseless reasons, I'm like, why does this even happen? What's going on?
Oh, speaking of which,
yes,
they found our little girlfriend from Freehold.
Well, that's
up in Old Bridge.
It's right here.
Son of a bee! I could scream.
Well, here's the thing: Stephanie Parsi, her name was.
Yeah.
And she has been missing. She had been missing since October 30th, and we talked about it
Yep.
previously. And the thing about it, this is what we found, is that they didn't release it to the public because her body was missing, but her ex-boyfriend did confess to killing her.
That's what I also finally heard that happened. They let that go because he killed himself, and he
killed himself, and he didn't say where the body was. So in case she was alive, or you know what I mean. So they had to be cautious.
Man.
So they didn't release what that letter said, but he wrote in the letter that he had taken her life, but he did not write where she was. So at that point, even though they knew after he killed himself, they knew that he had killed her. They had to find her. Unfortunately, they did find her. Well, two young boys found her.
Is that how it worked?
They were walking to work, and they saw one of the boys said he looked, and she was dumped over a bridge in the woods, and one of the boys looked and thought it was a mannequin. So he went over to investigate with his friend and found her body.
Yikes.
Stephanie Parsi. So rest in peace, Stephanie Parsi. And she had an abusive ex-boyfriend, and he went and killed himself and killed her. Well, it's a coward. And and this is and that goes right back to being around men who are threatening and if they're abusive. And this is the thing, she'd already broken up with him, and she still couldn't avoid it.
Let me tell you what, you hear of of women being as off the hook sometimes as the guys. I mean, this is not a can you top this, but I mean, it's just people in general. Just here again, I'm going to go back to what my father used to say about stuff. When I was a kid, just leave things alone. Okay, the direct cousin of that is leave people alone.
Yeah.
It's okay to think what you think. Please, I have snuffed people out a million times in my mind through the years, okay? Not proud, but you get angry, okay? Not proud of it, but
you don't do it.
Get angry.
But don't cross that line and do it.
If you think it. You think very bad things, but you keep it to yourself, and more importantly, B, you don't do it because why? Just leave people alone, and it's wrong.
Well, taking a life is a horrible thing to do, and you will go to jail. But, I mean, it's just to take somebody's life. I mean, give me a break.
Nope.
It's just ridiculous.
No good.
What kind of crap is that?
Stop it.
But I honestly, it's I'd been following that story from the beginning because
I know you have.
It's heartbreaking. And now, have you seen this new one with the missing kids and the woman in Hawaii?
Yes.
What's up with that?
How dumb can you get? And here's the most stupid thing. They found this woman and the new husband in Hawaii. Meanwhile, the kids are supposedly out back in Idaho, or that's where they supposedly were. Okay, and the authorities are like, okay, it's kind of like when the mom with the 3-year-old says, "I'm going to count 3. Ready?" They're saying, "Okay, you got 48 hours to tell us all you know." You got 48 hours.
I was thinking about Casey Anthony, because remember Casey Anthony, her child was missing for 30 days, and she never went looking. She never told anybody.
Right. But that's the whole thing. Quote,
How
unquote,
do you not look for a child?
Nobody knew, so to speak.
How do you not look for your child?
These people are running around like fucking Happy Hooligan. Sorry, but Happy Hooligan. Now they're off in Hawaii, living in a condo, living it up. Hey, Hawaii.
And those kids.
Well, we need to find these children, and you have. To me, you'd have 4 seconds.
Well, those kids are deceased.
Please.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I understand
I'm pretty
that,
sure.
and I hate to think that, but I'm with you. But these authorities now are saying you have 48 hours to cough up the information.
48 seconds.
48 hours. You kidding me? You got 4.8 seconds, or else, like Fred saying, "I'll give you 5 of these across your lips." I mean, stop. What are you doing? And that woman is just so smug.
Oh, she's in Hawaii. She's partying it up.
She said, "I don't know. I'm not saying."
That's what I'm saying. Like any parent knows,
What?
You have a child is missing out of your sight
I'd
for
be
a second.
apoplectic.
You're right. But then if your child's missing for weeks and days and you don't report it, you pretty much killed them.
You kidding me?
Anybody who thought Casey Anthony was innocent is an idiot.
Oh, please.
For 30 days. I don't know where she is.
There's the wall. All right. There's the writing on the wall.
She just had a really good defense attorney. Yeah. Baez is the best defense attorney in the state, in the country.
In the land. And all of the land.
Well, if you murder someone, you can call him because he got off Aaron Hernandez and he got off Casey Anthony. So, he's the best. I just call him up and be like, "I murdered someone. Can you just get me off?" Sure. No problem. I'll do it. It's okay.
Do you ever watch Channel 7 Eyewitness News out of New York City?
I catch it by accident because I told you my confusion, and I've lived here almost 5 years, and I'm still confused. Because I don't understand that you can see 3 different states on TV for the news, and I get confused as to
2.
There's 3. I get Philly, I get New York, and I get New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay.
Yeah, I get 3, and they're in the main. But the weird thing is New Jersey is way up at the top. Jersey's like channel 24 or something like that. But then if you go to like channel 4, channel 7, like CBS, NBC,
Right.
I get Philadelphia, and then I get New York. 7 is New York.
Right.
I don't understand. It confuses me because when I lived in Massachusetts, all the news 3, 5, 7 was just Massachusetts, Massachusetts.
Because there's no other major market by you up there in Massachusetts.
No, it's Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire.
I mean,
right.
You got
correct.
Portland, you got Providence, but there's no other major market, like top 10.
No, and I guess New York and
right
Philly
there.
are major.
It's number 1 and number 8.
Yeah. So that's probably what. So it confuses me. So when you ask me that question, the
Channel
answer is
7,
yes.
Channel 7 Eyewitness
Not
News.
on purpose.
Every night at the 6 o'clock news, coming out of about the 6:15 break, they have it sponsored by a bank. I forget which one. Doesn't matter. But it's
Santander.
sponsored no.
I hate that name. Go ahead.
It's another bank, and it's like Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Have you seen Jake Farkle? And they show a picture of this kid Jake, and they say his date of birth,
missing kid?
his date of birth, his height,
What?
his weight, and missing since 2016. What? Missing since
They do that?
Oh yeah, missing since October of 2019.
Weird.
And then the other ones that have been missing for a while, they just had 2 of them in a row, to where they had the photo of the child when they were missing,
And then they have
an age progression.
The age progression
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
He got lost when he was 5. He'd now be 9, and here's what it would
He'd
look
be
like
like
now.
20.
Like, how do these people? How does this happen?
It's crazy.
It's a different
isn't it?
kid every freaking
Yeah,
night.
but look at those girls that were kidnapped. Those 3 girls
Oh,
in
my
Ohio,
God, in Cleveland.
and kept in that house for
The land
10
of Cleves.
years.
Oh, it's
10
horrible.
years.
How do you?
10 years is a long freaking time.
Ready?
10 years.
Leave people alone.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
I can't.
10 years
Cannot.
you're held captive.
Cannot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and you had people like coming in and out of his house. You had neighbors. Hey, neighbor. He'd have barbecues. He was a musician. I don't know. I don't know if you ever saw. Yeah. So he would like bring his band over and they'd rehearse and and they'd be tied up, chained up upstairs. This is some crazy crap. I'm telling you. I swear to God, I walk in people's houses and I'm like, I'm looking around to see if there's anybody chained up. Because you know what? Not on my watch, bitch. Not on my watch.
Sucker.
Let me tell you something. Nobody's going to be murdered or chained up or kidnapped around me. Because I'm way too nosy about that kind of stuff. I'll be looking in people's closets.
We prefer to call it inquisitive.
Dude, I already have a friend, a person. I'm not going to get to who I think is not in a good place, and I'm keeping my eye out. I'm already documenting things. Oh yeah, I keep my eye out.
Oh my.
Oh, I do. Let me tell you something.
My.
And that person may think that everything's fine, but in my mind, my ID, Dateline, 48 hours, 60 minutes mind.
OMG.
Yeah. OMG. Yeah. I'm telling you. Because when you see these things, like Chris Watts, I watched that documentary, messed my head up with that one. Chris Watts is the one who put his 2 little girls in the oil.
Oh, jeez, that's right.
Killed his pregnant wife and then killed his 2 little girls and smothered one in front of the other. That sick F. And that guy was nice looking, athletic, intelligent, good job. She loved him. She was on social media. I love him. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. Best husband ever. And that's what he did. And no one saw it. Nobody saw it coming. No red flags. No, like, he beat her. No, nothing. And then all of a sudden, that's what he does. And that he snapped.
Well, and he was on there, when the television news came around. Please come home.
Oh, yeah, please come home. That's what they do.
We
Right.
miss you.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. And that's my point. That's what I'm saying. You think you know people. For me, I see signs. I see everybody has a flag somewhere. I see it. I'm always looking for it. I already see one already. I have my eye on. Trust me. You might see me on an ID channel in court testifying.
Joe Kenda, he's going to come by and see you.
He might. He just did his last show, actually.
Was that right?
Yeah, he just stopped. His last show was like last weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm not kidding.
I get it.
I'm not even. You think I'm kidding? I'm not
No,
even kidding,
I
John.
don't think you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I keep my eye open on everybody. I think everybody's crazy. There's some crazy. There used to be someone that we worked with. Doesn't work there anymore. And I used to say he has somebody in his basement. I used to say it all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking?
Yeah, oh, yes, I do.
I used to say it all the time.
GB.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking AB. Oh, AA.
We'll have to discuss after.
Okay. But I'm like, oh, some
guy who looked like, man, oh man, he would
I think somebody's in the basement.
He'd cut you and just leave you there.
No. It's the ones you least suspect.
Yikes.
That's what I'm saying. It's the ones that you think everything's hunky-dory. When it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Keep that in mind, too.
Oh, man.
Probably is.
Wow.
There's some scary stuff. I'm telling you, it's some scary stuff going on.
I know.
I'm going to go home. I actually recorded like a couple of Datelines and a couple of 48 hours. I got to watch them when I get home.
I can't do it because I don't want to put myself in that place.
Everybody says that to me. How I do that? Because I do it right before I go to bed. I watch. Yeah, I do. And sometimes even while I'm in bed, I'll turn on live PD while I'm in bed before I go to bed and watch people get shot and stuff. But it's because I'm so intrigued by the psychology. I don't want to see anybody get killed. Let's get this straight. I don't want to see anybody get murdered. Nothing. That's horrible.
No, it's the backstory.
I'm intrigued that people go that way. I'm intrigued that's what pushes a human being to go that far. What pushes a person, and there's so many, whether it's premeditated or it's a crime of passion, like what makes you cross that line? And that fascinates me. I mean, I took abnormal psych in college, and I wish I had stuck with it because it fascinates me. It does. It just does. Because the world is a crazy place.
Man's struggle with himself, basically.
And I think what's interesting too is when they interview these people, and they say, oh, he was the nicest guy. I mean, oh my God, I'm so shocked. He was so sweet and so kind. And then they're like, oh yeah, but he was a product of divorce. Okay.
So?
Or he had a really bad childhood. He was abused as a child. Okay.
All right.
A lot of people are abused. They don't kill people. A lot of people are a product of divorce. They don't kill people. There's something about that genetic makeup of that person where that particular event pushed them over the line.
There's a button that gets pushed.
Correct.
You don't know what the button is.
You don't know what the button is.
Until it gets pushed.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? And then there's things, I just read actually today about a little boy who stabbed his sister.
Oh.
And his sister was 5 and he is 9. And he's actually he was in court today.
Wow.
He stabbed his sister. So the mother went to get the mail. So the mother wasn't out. She just went to get the mail. So she went and got the mail, came back, and her son was stabbing the 5-year-old with a kitchen knife and saying, die, die, die.
Wow.
So then in court, they asked the little boy, and he said, I've always thought about doing it. I've always thought about killing her. Like, that's an issue. So where is this kid learning this from? TV, video games.
Here's the thing: you got somebody like that. They're not, so to speak, they're not hardwired. Right. They're just not. I mean, there was a kid. I went to elementary school, and he used to do bad things with
animals.
With animals, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And he was, I don't know. When we were smaller, like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, he was a nice enough kid. I mean, we weren't like super tight, but we were friends, And then he gets to be like 11, 12 years old, and all of a sudden this comes out. What? Mm-hmm. No. And I had moved along, not going to the same school as him anymore by that point. So I literally had zero reason to interact with him. But I heard it all. And I'm like, come on. Same thing. It's like, stop. Who's making that up? No, seriously. He got suspended. He's something with his parents and blah, 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 and his sister. I'm like, okay, Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. It's just a sick world we live in. And then you have tragedy like what happened. And then you say, embrace love, respect, and just tell the people that you love that you love them because you don't know how much longer you have. I mean, seriously. I mean, who knew? That was the last thing I'd ever think that. And Kobe Bryant was a good person. He did a lot of good things, and a lot of good charity, and he was a giving person.
You know, at the bottom of it, he was a guy who he loved the game of basketball. He was the guy who showed up because he worked at it. He was the first guy at the gym. He was the last guy to leave. Before practice started and when it was over, he was still at it. He figured out very early, from what I understand, that that's what he wanted to do. So he made that his absolute laser focused mission in life, and he was good. Okay, was he human? Did he, take a stumble every now and again? That whole business with his wife in that, however many years ago. Yeah, but okay.
So does everybody.
Well, I was going to say, who amongst us is Lily White? No one. Right. Okay, but the beauty part of that deal was that, however involved or uninvolved, not involved, whatever involved that was, they worked it out. They worked it out. They got together, worked it out.
And that's another thing. Somebody said that too. Oh, well, you did this to his wife, but his wife forgave him.
Yeah.
Who are you? You're nobody.
Stop it.
His wife. That's between him and his wife.
That's their business.
That's their business.
You know what this is? That's none of you.
If they choose to stay,
none of your business.
Right. If they choose to stay, that's their business. If Tiger Woods' wife wanted to stay with him, then he should stay with him. If Hillary Clinton wanted to leave Bill Clinton, he could have done that too. That's their business, and it's between them. It's their relationship.
Well, I'm sure that there are people, I don't know this to be true or not, but I mean, I'm sure that there's people with myself, knowing my situation with my wife. We are still technically divorced, but we're back together. And you know what? It really wasn't very great toward the end 9 years ago.
Right.
Okay, it just wasn't. Okay, and then for
people change.
Well, but the subsequent year and a half until I went east and she stayed west. It was contentious. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't really great. It wasn't fun. It wasn't upbeat. It wasn't nice. It wasn't, everything is great. It wasn't. Thus, the divorce. But I'm sure that there are people thinking, to whatever degree, a lot, a little, or someplace in between, what the hell are they doing, back at it again? You know what? None of your business is what we're doing, okay?
That's between you and her.
Right? Two, anything worthwhile having is going to be a little difficult. And for me to sit here and say it's been difficult, not personality-wise, but now the big difficulty is distance. There's 155 miles between us, for 12 to 13 days at a clip. That's difficult. But you know what? We talk about it.
Make it work.
We work it out, and we talk it out, which is what we didn't do a lot of previously, okay? And it's good. I love her awful. She's my wife. Period. That's the way it is.
And who is anybody else to judge?
Nobody. Again, think all you want. I don't care.
Well, it's kind of like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. They were talking to each other, and someone wrote on social media, he cheated. He left her. He cheated her for Angela. Yeah, he did. Okay. And obviously, she forgave him.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over. It's in the past. Let the past be the past.
And I even read a piece on that since we talked about that last week, that, everybody's making this big thing about, oh my goodness, we're going to get back together. We're going to get back together. Well, you know what? They're friends. They're friendly. They're congenial. They're cordial.
And maybe they will get back together. Who knows?
Right now,
not my business.
That's not where it is, supposedly. But you know what? Tomorrow's another day.
Sure. The past is the past. Leave it in the past. Stop bringing it up. Anything. Whether you're talking about celebrities or you're talking about just normal people like us, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's all I got to say. That's my close.
The past is history.
Mind your business.
The future is a mystery.
Take care of you and your own, and your children and your own wife or husband. Take care of that. Don't worry about anybody else's life.
Past is mystery. I'm sorry. The past is history. The future is a mystery. That's why they call the here and now the present. Because why? It's a gift. Open it.
And the future. Focus on the future.
Well, and that's a mystery.
Come?
I mean, you don't know what's going to come,
no,
but you know what?
You can look towards it.
You've got the right here and the right now. And yes, look ahead. It's a big question mark because nobody knows. There's one that knows, and he's not telling. Okay, and that's okay. Okay, but that's fine. You got what you got right now.
You can't change the past.
Look ahead.
You can't.
I would, I would love to. I would love to sometimes, but it's
Can't change it.
It's not possible.
You can't change it.
If I had a nickel, if I had 1 cent for every time I thought, boy, I'd love to go back, or I'd love to go back and just have a little taste, and then come back. You can't do it.
Like a hot tub time machine.
Exactly. Okay, sir. All right. Question of the day.
What?
Kansas City or San Francisco?
So this is what it was. At first, I was saying, you know what I'm going to say? At first I was saying San Fran because of Jimmy G and he came from the Patriots and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But you want to know something?
Go ahead.
A couple things. This is selfish of me, but I'm a selfish person.
What?
San Fran's already won 5 rings. I don't want them to win another one because then they're going to be tied with us. I don't want it. Nope. Stay. Nope. Stay.
Coach TRACY of the New England Patriots, by the way.
Nope. I'm going to root for the Kansas City Chiefs because A, they haven't won in a very long time.
Correct.
B, a friend of mine, Candy, she lives in Kansas City and she's a friend of mine and she's my friend. And C, because I just want them to win. That's
okay.
All. And they deserve it. They've been waiting long enough. The other one, they won enough. The other ones, get rid of them. They're okay. Sorry, Jimmy G. That's just the way I feel. I don't want anybody close to the Patriots. So we have enough issues with Pittsburgh and Dallas. No, we don't want anybody close to us. We still have 1 year left with Brady. I don't care what anybody says.
Is he coming back?
He's not. In my head, yeah. Yeah, he is, by the way. He better be. You don't do one last season. You just played all these years. No, your entire career you play with one team, and then you go 1 year to somewhere else. You don't do it. Don't do it.
Here's 2 words
don't
for
do
you.
It.
Here's 2 words for you. Ready? Philip Rivers. I understand that the former San Diego, now Los Angeles Chargers are either have or are about to cut him loose. And that's where he's played since 2004 when he came out of college.
So look at Raymond Bork. He was at the Boston Bruins his entire career and then did one season with the Avalanche and then won a Stanley Cup and then quit. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Philip Rivers, all these years.
I don't want it.
16 seasons with nothing. He may go, I don't know, pick a team. Jacksonville. He may go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Get a Super Bowl, and then I'm done.
I don't care. No, I don't want it. I don't want him going anywhere. And
Philip Rivers?
No, Tom Brady. And what's his name? Told him not to go.
Dick Hertz?
No, what's that? Oh,
who's Dick Hertz?
I can see his face. No.
Joe Namath.
No, I was going to say Joe Namath, which is weird because it's not Joe Namath.
He
was a former Patriots player. He's short, though. He was really, really good.
Wes Welker.
No. Not Wes Welker. Wait.
He's white. Wes
Welker is white. That's right. I was thinking of Willie McGinnis when you said that for some reason. That's what popped in my head.
Wait, Willie McGinnis isn't white?
Let me see. What was his name? Why can't I think of his name? I can see his face. And his son has autism. Short player. Really, really good. Oh, I can't think of his name. Damn it. Anyways, he said to Tom Brady, don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go. Stay.
Well, I think that there's such a symbiosis with him and that group that he's not going. I mean, he could, not that he will, but he could stink the joint up and they'd be like, okay, Tom, we still love you. And rightly so. Rightly so.
No, they won't.
Well,
what's that player's name? Anyways, I can't remember. I can't think of it. It'll drive me crazy.
All right. So, I want a good game.
We have 10 seconds left.
I'm leaning Chefs myself from the Kansas City Chefs. So, hey, you know what? Is it Chefs or Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Right. Oh, they forgot the I one time on the logo. Sorry. Oh. Well, yeah. Go Chiefs. Why not? Why not?
Go Chiefs. That's it. I'm done. I'm tired.
That's it.
I gotta go watch some crime
shows.
shows.
I gotta get things done. I gotta go back up and make sure Daddy-O's okay.
You gotta go to Walgreens. And get some
I gotta
stuff.
stop at Walgreens. I gotta get the Ensure for my father.
Ensure.
I'm out of chocolate drink, and it's only Wednesday, and you're not gonna go to the store until Sunday. That's right. So I'll pick up some stuff for Daddy-O, get myself a soup over at Check of Quick, and get on up the road.
Is that it?
That's all I got. I think we've said it all.
We've
said enough.
Because it's going to drive me crazy. I don't know that guy's name. Like it really is. It really Let me see. It is. It's gonna come. Doug Flutie. Now we can go.
When did he play for the Patriots?
Did he?
No.
Oh. Okay, well, it does matter.
He played for Boston College.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Anyways, that's it.
Yeah, okay, but because here I am, Patriots. Sure.
I don't know why I was thinking that. Well, because he was.
I don't think he did. Anyway, well, hey, you know what? Tom Brady, do your thing. You are the GOAT, whether I like it or not, and sometimes I don't like it, but whatever, it's cool. All right? Chiefs on Sunday. Count on it, take it to the bank, and we'll be back next Wednesday for another rousing edition of REALTOwn with John and Tracy.
That's it.
That's all of it.
Peace out.
Give the week your best shot. Peace and hair grease.
Bye.
See ya.
Doug Flutie.
Cue the music.
Doug Flutie. She's the Chicago Bears. New England Patriots.
Again, the music. When did he play for the Patriots? When did he play?
I told you. I said.
Damn it. When did he play for like a cup of coffee? Did he have a ham sandwich? Like
he
Carl
did.
would
He
say?
did play for the Patriots. I knew it. I was like, I know.
Cue the music. We're done.
Doug Flutie played for the Patriots.
Anybody? Bueller? Thank you.
This is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing apart. We know every card